Okay. So you can see my screen okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm going to talk a bit about the work that Matt, Mike, Ken, and I have been doing on the COVID-19 Better Search Engine. So basically, just to quickly reiterate, kind of our big term goal was to develop natural language processing search tools focused on these Covid-19 challenge tasks from the Kaggle challenge. So we wanted, specifically, our biggest focus was building a good search engine and topic modeling. So finding, clusters of papers on similar topics. So some of the things we wanted to try were different types of embeddings for the topic modeling or clustering. We'd also like to serve up these results in a scalable front-end app. And I should also mention that all of us who are working on this are kind of new to NLP. So it was also a chance to learn something new and get a little exposure to topics in language processing that we were not familiar with. There's lots of, I should say, all these, underlined things are links. And so there's lots of good links in these very short slides. So I'd recommend following those. Also, this picture on the right is Matt had retrained some BERT embeddings, and then here, this is a lower dimensional visualization of the embedding space, and the colors are different medical journals. So you can see there's kind of like a cyan clump of journals, there's like a green clump, kind of a pink clump. So it's our first hints that the embedding was working. Well, it actually was creating some structure that we wanted. So like I said, the main thing we're working on is, or that I've been working on, is topic modeling. I had a code running to generate a word cloud, but it did not finish in time for this morning. What I've been working on is comparing a latent Dirichlet allocation to a k-means clustering sort of topic modeling. The LDA is basically done, and I'm mostly done with the k-means. And once I have those different topics, the topics modeled in these two different ways, I wanted to, kind of do a deeper compare and contrast of the performance of the two. And so, yeah, following up at the GitHub is the best way, or on our Slack channel is the best way to see what we're currently doing. Right now, we have results you can easily look in a notebook, but we'd like to make it a front-end Streamlit app instead of a notebook like this right now. However, the next things we really need to take the project of improving these data searching tools to the next level is labeling. One problem we found looking at the data was that there's lots of different papers, but none of us are medical researchers, and so it's hard sometimes to tell, are the topics that we've come up with sort of valid? Are we grouping the data properly? So the biggest thing that we need to take this project to the next level would be some labeling. We tried to do this, but our group didn't have enough expertise to produce this labeled data set. Mike is working on the front end app that we'll produce in the end. We're planning to use Streamlit for Teams. And then if anyone has ideas of, if you'd like to work on BERT embeddings, or you'd like to work on search engines, or you'd like to work on evaluating the performance of topic modeling, these are all open projects available for our group. Otherwise, yeah, please follow up on these links. I should say another nice thing, if you go to this Docker Hub, or there's directions on the GitHub, if you want to have the whole data set from the Covid19 challenge, they cleaned up and ready to go in a Docker image, you can just download our Docker image and you're ready to start working with the data. So even if you don't want to work on our project, you might like working with this Docker image. All right, let me see. Sorry, I'm looking at the chat now because I didn't hear anything. So right now, the way the data is stored in the GitHub is actually, I made a tarball of the full data set with, just the raw data. I didn't do any like cleaning or anything on the data that's stored in GitHub. But we used Git LFS to store this big tarball. And then, so whenever the way we actually build the Docker image, we copy down this tarball and unpack it. So it's kind of a large image because of that, because it does have this big tarball in it. But that way you don't have to, go through Kaggle, set up your account, download it. It's a big data set, so it does take a while to download anyways. So this does make it a little faster.
Hello, Rachel, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, this is Xue. I'm interested in this project because I currently finished a course project about labeling the data by using supervised learning and weak supervision. Also, my project is focused on how to use current knowledge database in biology or medical knowledge database to improve the efficiency of labeling the data. I just wanted that there needs some. Are there any room for your group?
Yes,
that would. To use the data. I want to use the what I learned from the course project. It is to some extent it is good.
It sounds like a great. No, I was going to say that your coursework sounds like a great fit, and I think that would definitely, like I said, we really need help with the data labeling. So if you'd like to contribute, I would go to the Slack channel for. You could also find it. We're Covid19 NLP Hackathon. That would be a great. Oh, I see somebody else also posted this. A database, yeah, because we're. Sorry, I'm trying to read the chat at the same time. I'm getting a little distracted. But yes, please, if you'd like to follow up on this, message in Slack, and on this, I'll put the link also in the chat here in case anyone would like to join.
I think I already found you the LinkedIn, and I will let you know.
Yeah,
what I can do.
Please do. Yeah, our group also. I should. I personally was working on this a lot. I was working on this quite a bit, and then I had to take a little break for some. I had a job interview, and but now I've got through the interview, so now I've got more time for it. So we're. I know Matt Rubashkin, who should be in here somewhere, is also kind of helping direct this project. So he might have some ideas about data labeling as well.
Yep, happy to help.
Yeah.
And thanks for tackling this, Rachel. Appreciate it. Great overview.
Are there any other questions? I mean, also you're welcome to review the slides, and if you have questions, drop them in the chat or in Slack.
Yeah, I do encourage people to actively participate in this project. Also, please join the Slack channel. Most of the conversation and collaboration and discussion is happening over the Slack channel. So I really appreciate Matt, Rachel, and the rest of the fellow team member. They have been spending a lot of time in this project. So thank you so much. And Matt, you want to add a few more words, like in terms of what is your vision, what is your roadmap for this project?
I think Rachel actually covered this pretty well. I think there's a lot of opportunities here to create custom, basically searching tools for researchers. Mike, who's on the team, is working on the front end side. So if you have front end experience or want to pitch in there, Michael Lowe would be the person to chat with. If you're thinking about like the back end side and the tools, Rachel's already done a great job building out a Dockerized container so other people can like immediately start working on any machine, Windows, Linux or others, to just get rolling. And if you're thinking about on the side of like data labeling, definitely feel free to reach out on that Slack channel. I think that's a big piece that we need to move forward. There's other individuals in the team like Ken who are thinking about how do we make better models using different types of word embeddings and sentence embeddings. So if any of those are areas of interest that A, you have experience in, great. Or B, if you're like, hey, I'd like to take some time and learn how to do this and potentially contribute, if I'm able to spend the time doing that, that would also be awesome. So definitely feel free to reach out on this channel. We're always looking for additional individuals if you're looking to contribute. Our biggest team mantra is just getting the code out there and actually iterating and contributing back. Even small steps forward are super useful.
Excuse me, I have a question.
Sure.
Do you need a UX designer? I'm looking for a project to work to do for my portfolio, and I'm a graduate UX designer. I don't know how much you actually is important to do the front end in the design wise, and you know, make it clear and easy for user to use. But I'm happy to chip in if you guys need help on that one.
Yeah, I think that we do. I mean, none of us have a ton of front end experience, so I think somebody with more of a trained eye might have. You probably have suggestions on improvements that wouldn't, you know, I just don't have the background for. And so yeah, I would go to the Slack channel, and the guy in our group who's currently working on this is named Mike Lowe. But if you just drop your name in there, we can connect you up with him. And
yeah, that would be awesome. I will do it, and then maybe you mention his name and I can follow.
Oh, yeah, here I'll just put his name in the. Oh, Matt did it. Thanks, Matt. And yeah, on our GitHub there should be. Let's see. So right now, my working code is all in my fork. So I've got a couple scripts in there that I was going to pull today, but didn't quite get to. There's directions of how to pull the Docker image and run a Jupyter notebook if you want. All the data is in. If you just want the tarball, it's in there. So yeah, yeah, check out all these. There's all these nice links in the chat. I would highly recommend those.
Hey Rachel, if you don't mind, can you please provide a quick walkthrough of the current code flow? Sorry to cut you in. Someone.
Sure. Sorry, I was also if we need.
I think we could only spend another 5 minutes for this. We have another presentation upcoming. So Rachel, how much time you need to go through the code flow?
I can just so I'll show. All right, I'll just kill this. This has been running for a very long time. Yeah. So this is actually running in a container that I'm running right now. So inside I've got the main things I'm working on are these Python scripts. So we've got all right, this is easy to see in Matt's directory. We've got a source directory where we're putting all of we've built like just a utilities library and some NLP tools that we're sharing. So then in my LDA script, I use those tools to get the pre-processed text and do a little cleaning. I think there might be some scripts for cleaning up your stop words. And so then the actual script itself is really short. A lot of the text pre-processing is in here. We've also got various improvements that can be made to the actual pre-processing itself. One thing we found, for example, is I think there's either we're getting Spanish last names, or there are some of the abstracts in the data set are in Spanish. So sometimes when I would run the topic modeling, I'll get, I'm using English stop words, but then my list of words will be like la, lay, day, blah. And so, so that's one problem that would be another issue somebody could work on, is trying to detect a document, determine whether a document is in English or not, so that we can use the right stop words. So right now it's mostly, we're working with Python scripts, but the goal would be when we're ready to build it into a front end, we won't just be using notebooks and Python scripts, but that's what we're working with right now.
I have a question. Could you guys elaborate on what you envision, like the end use cases for this to be?
Yeah, so what we're hoping this would, let me go to get the chat out of the way. So there's these tasks from the Kaggle challenge. So there's things like how could we find papers about transmission, incubation, and environmental stability? How do we find papers about risk factors? So what we wanted to see first off is could we do a topic modeling that would help us get topics that some of these things are more some of these things are about transmission and like how the virus works. Some of them are about medical care. We wanted to first see if we could sort of in an unsupervised way identify topics that would give you related papers. We also just did a regular, I think it's BM25 search engine. So you could just search the words transmission, incubation, environmental stability. So we wanted to compare, how does this regular search engine do versus this sort of unsupervised topic modeling. And what we were hoping would, basically to help identify papers relevant to these topics in a either more easily or in a better quote unquote way than the past. But a lot of it was, to learn how to get some experience.
And just to quickly jump in, like how I'm imagining this, Google Scholar, PubMed, other tools, both from the federal government and other researchers, are for general research articles. They aren't specifically meant to surface articles based on COVID-19 or virus-related articles, public health-related articles. So this is going to be a tool customized to this sort of research area for best finding both existing articles and elevating newest articles in the field on a specific topic.
Got it. Thanks.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Matt. Excellent work. So I will encourage anyone who is interested in this, please join the Slack channel and contribute.